And here we go, and we'll be sitting again in a desert like Arabia with, in my opinion, a spot where you often find the more unfriendly maps. And let me just take a look at the Goku's map first. We know the players, Goku in blue this time, so I'll just continue from here on. We see a better map for Goku in my opinion. He has the boot line, it still isn't perfect in my opinion, but it's better than the last one. His left side has another wood line, and two of his additional golds are there, and I think those will be quite easy to defend in the longer run of the game, and this is why I like the map a bit more right now. He also has his main gold now a bit to the back of the map, but not entirely at the edge of the map, which makes it quite a bit better. But on the other hand, his south side is still reasonably open, but not as bad as the last time. However, if we're now going to move to Fire's map, he has the main gold in the back right now, so as you mentioned, if that is what he wants, he did himself a favor with the Re. He also has reasonable wood lines, they are with the puddles in it, so it isn't an awful lot. Has some nearby ideas getting them in already. However, his additional golds are in the front, he's again a bit surrounded by the hills, and quite open on the south side, so his additional gold and the stone not so best, but as we mentioned earlier, with the wood and the gold in the back, he will be fine for the early game, but I might see him struggling in later stage of the game to actually get decent lumber lines in. And as he might have trouble actually getting the next wood lines, because if you look at it, they're very far away of the start of his base. He will be able to sustain at least until castle age with the ones in the back, but I wonder how it will be in the long run. But yeah, I don't feel like the same can be said for Goku, as he has a bit more wood in the neighborhood.
But also, if you look at both players, Goku has 3 golds very close together, so he's going to have to, control that area. And the same with Fire, where his forward golds and a stone are all pretty close together.
Yeah, indeed, but I feel like the area of Goku's additional golds, especially with the cliff there,
That helps,
are
yeah.
just way easier to defend. At least the first one. I mean, the second one can easily get harassed by any cav archers or anything like it. But the first one should be quite easy to defend.
I think they both have decent early game maps, but late game's going to be very interesting if it goes that far.
Yeah, I feel like the map control is going to be quite important. Maybe, well, for Fire, pretty much for the gold as it's quite in the front. But also for the wood, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Now, Fire sheep's just found in time, so they aren't going to get stolen by Goku. No laming going on so far. I've been keeping my eyes open this time. Both players following quite the usual build for Scout Rush so far. Both players 3 on wood. No rushing will happen. And if I look at the players scouting, we see Goku not really scouting in the standard formation, missing out the information on Fire quite a bit. We see Fire going straight ahead as well. It might take a while for the players to find each other, but if they're both going full scout rush, then I doubt that information at this stage is going to be too important.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Fire's also lured 1 deer already, right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, indeed.
1 extra deer.
Yeah, you can see it with Fire being quite behind on the map explored count, but obviously with a scout rush, the addition of food is going to help. The scouting, you will find your opponent in time most likely, and he did find his core resources. He knows where his boar were, he did find his sheep in time. He got all 8 of them, so pushing the deer in was really worthwhile in my opinion. And now he found where Goku is as well. Same can be said for Goku over Fire's position, so that's going to be quite equal. We see Fire going up at 20 pop, Goku will be going up at 21. Sorry, bills rather than population. Yeah, second lumber being added for both players, so really the usual scout build. And I wonder for who this will actually be better off, because in my opinion both maps are really open. We can see Goku's second lumber camp being quite far away from his town center. For Fire, it's still reasonably far away, so I guess the scout damage will be quite high. I think we will be able to see the players going for quite an amount of scouts on such an open map. And for now, no one really pushing in any additional further. Just making sure they know where the core resources are.
GoKu. Those, yeah, the walls to the cliff by the gold, those are pretty predictable walls.
Yeah, indeed. You can kind of expect it to come up. I mean, it covers so much of the map, and it makes it quite a bit easier to defend. Now the barracks next to the edge of the boot line as well, so you can see the scouts coming a bit more. And for Fire, a bit more in the front. Just to make sure he gets this line off sight. Now GoKu Fire trying to do a bit of damage to the Veils. But as they are with 2 and Loom already, it isn't going to be too much of a damage. Now Fire immediately getting both eco upgrades, as it is quite usual, but always nice to have it, especially if you're going with the 20 Veil up. And same can be said for GoKu in a 1 spear. I think it's actually quite even for the players how much they will be able to do with the scout rush, as they both have a fairly open map. We see Fire actually bringing the spear forward to deal with the scout right now. From there on might continue being defensive. And just pretty much the same build order so far, as kind of to be expected if we look at the player's map, if we look at the positions. And I wonder who will be. I think Fire is really aiming to be a bit more aggressive right now. GoKu has 2 spears out right now. Fire has 1 spear moving a bit further to the front. No second spear so far.
You look at Fire, he's already done a few little palisades on his wood line just to start protecting it for fast walls.
Yeah, indeed. His field's now getting a little bit stuck, so you should remicro them a little bit. But obviously, you cannot do everything at the same time.
Yep.
And it seems like Fire will be going in. Will he be able to snipe those spears with the scouts? Is he just going to bait him with a spear? Maybe try and do the damage at the edges? And we can also see GoKu actually walling in the south.
And right here, reading the wood line. I think
We'll get 1 villager, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, he just got it. Just needs to be careful to get his scouts out alive. He took quite a beating. But obviously getting the villagers is going to be as important. And for now, really nice for Fire being unaggressive, falls back by the spears, obviously. What do you think about the walls for GoKu? I think it's actually quite nice how he's now going to wall a second lumber camp as well. From there on, he will actually have quite a choke point in the front of his base. I mean, obviously, most of the scouts will be able to run past it, but he really needs to be careful with any spears being around it. And there we have it, Fire adding quite a bit of additional scouts. But really for both players, as I kind of hope to see in this map, as it's very open. Scouts being so fast, picking off those villages, and both trading 1 for 1, but Fire's was heavily damaged, so quite a good trade for him there.
GoKu putting up his first archer range, while Fire's putting up his second already, so transitioning a little quicker into archers.
Yeah, indeed. And Fire overall having the military lead, as you mentioned, probably because he has the archer range out quite a bit earlier. Got his first archer out. Has a bit of a scout lead as well. And now the second range for GoKu going up as well. And obviously those archers are going to be very important to deal with any of the spears. And bloodlines being researched by Fire as well. So reasonable early bloodlines.
And GoKu
In my decision... Sorry?
GoKu, bloodlines also now.
GoKu indeed as well. Really like the decision of getting the bloodlines in, as both players are at a reasonable number of scouts at this point of the game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they continue adding, but on the other hand it will probably be mainly focusing on getting the archers out, as they are a bit less heavy on your eco considering getting up to the castle age earlier. And here we see what GoKu is doing right now, is walling the map nicely towards the front, is going to create his choke point. I wouldn't even be surprised if he's going to completely close it. And maybe from there on, look where he can go offensive.
He's going out to scouts. Fire's base.
And Fire is actually quite open. He didn't wall a lot. He does have full spear sound, so that will help him defend quite a bit. Now both players getting wheelbarrowed on. Yeah, I wonder if Goku will be able to do quite a bit of damage here, but I think this fight will be in his favor. He's also bringing 2 spears forward to deal with fire scouts and maybe any potential spears coming up as well, as they're obviously pretty good at soaking the damage of the other spears, as there's no bonus involved. And so from here on, both players still following quite an equal build, but it seems like Goku will be able to be the aggressor from here on, as Fire's map is just very hard to wall, but he's going to bring the archers now. This is actually a really good fight for him, picking off some of the scouts here and really damaging him. From here on, I think Fire might be able to return the aggression.
Yes, I agree.
As Goku's now quite low.
Woodline is starting on the left to run out, so he's gonna have to move that soon.
Yeah, I'll just put it partially to the edge. But yeah, as we mentioned, Fire is sitting on quite a small amount of wood, so we'll need to expand in a reasonable amount of time. Preferably with TCs to keep it safe. Nice start by Goku there, getting the low health scout out of there just with 1 hit. It's going to help him quite a bit, and Goku now up to Castle Age. It seems like Fire will be up any minute as well.
Yeah.
And both players sitting at 3 archer ranges and still producing archers, if I'm not wrong about Goku, that is. Yeah. So I think we'll be seeing just usual crossbows follow up for both players. Once they hit Castle Age, Botkin and Cav Archers will follow it up. Now looking at Fire trying to go forward with the archers, I think he's going to struggle with 2 things, because one, he's really unable to get any damage in as the gold is at the back. I think the wood line on the right might be able to hit. The wood line on the left, Goku can just replace his villages. He is trying to make his way in, but Goku has quite a high number of archers here, as he was a bit early on 4 ranges. Sorry, on the 3rd range, rather. So now Fire might go in.
Archer armor for Fire. Wow.
Yeah, small advantage for Fire there, but with this number advantage, I would be careful, especially. I like his decision not to go in with the archers, because as soon as Goku hits Castle Age, maybe gets X-Bow or Botkin Arrow a little bit early, he will be able to pick him off for free, especially with the numbers advantage. It's going to be very costly.
2 kills down there.
Nice job with the scouts, getting them through the walls, and we can see quite a veil difference, maybe one explained by the fact that Goku got up a bit earlier. But both players have wheelbarrows, so actually quite a nice field lead for Fire from here on. But now X-Bow and Botkin being resurged, Fire just hitting the Castle Age, so Goku might have a little frame to do damage here, but I think Fire has enough at his base to defend from here on. I think Goku might have a small numbers advantage, but obviously Fire has the advantage. He will be able to reinforce a bit quicker over here.
University coming up for Fire.
Yeah, quite an early university, so it seems like Fire wants to continue applying the pressure, getting the stronger archers out rather than dropping the town center earlier.
Gonna lose another Vil maybe? Yep.
If not more.
2.
But quite a bit of expos. 2 expos going down for Goku, so that might give Fire a bit of an easy time fighting. But this hill in the front of his base is quite awkward. In the meanwhile, Fire is trying to get into Goku's base, but the Goku is still making some more expos, as he probably doesn't want to invest in Cav Archers yet, as the expos will be a bit more cost effective for now to defend, I believe. Goku seems to be losing this fight, as he's microing nicely though, and he does have the hill advantage, but we still do not have the +1 defense for Fire, sorry, for Goku over here, but just as I mentioned it is researched, might make it a bit easier. And now Goku will be going for the Cav Archers.
Oh, and Fire is in.
Yeah, but not able to do an awful lot, as Goku is there with more expos. He might be able to seize the hill and do a bit of damage, but it isn't going to be too big in the grand scheme of things, really. Still small village lead for Fire, has decreased a little bit, as we saw him being like 6 ahead earlier. Now it has reduced to 3. No additional TCs for Goku either. Both players going for the ballistics rather than adding any town centers.
But also Fire is on 3 archer ranges while Goku's on 4. So more unit production.
Yeah, indeed. I wonder if Goku has the eco to actually have them all up and running. He seems to struggle a little bit with the gold count, but it might just work out. Fire might get caught over here with his 8 expos and not having the expos in the neighborhood to reinforce. Cutting down on the hill, losing a bit more. Unable to do the damage at the wood line of Goku, where Goku is, by the way, getting a second town center up.
So is fire on that weird wood line on the left there, the university.
Oh, yeah, fire is indeed adding a second TC as well, but as you mentioned, that isn't a lot of wood. It's a bit weird, and it will run out rather quickly. But I guess fire will have to do with it for now. But as we mentioned earlier in this game, I think it's going to be really important for the players to actually expand in time. Make sure they will have the resources on the map, because that base isn't too friendly, especially for fire considering the gold, but also for the wood. And let me check, both lanes have bloodlines already. +2 for fire, however, and Goku on +1 on the defense, that is. So again, a small advantage. Fire also having the numbers advantage, but there's also some crossbows involved. Well, actually, now I look at it, Goku has quite a bit of exposed as well, so he might be heading the cav archers, but Fire not looking right now, losing quite a bit of cav archers, focusing the palisade wall, rather than taking on the fight head on. So that set him back a little bit. Fire now having an increasing villager lead, both players still being at 2 town centers though, and Fire forced to get a new lumber camp, and I wonder where it will be, or maybe he's actually replacing them to gold. Fire is getting a 3rd town center at the front. And in the meanwhile, the +2 defense is being researched for Goku, whilst he's getting an uphill fight in about equal numbers. Might have a bit more, but still it makes an unfavorable fight, where he could be winning a bit more at this stage, but unable to seize the hill. So Fire will continue his aggression from there on.
Goku has another town center by his archery ranges there on that wood line.
Ah, yeah. I like to see this one as the wood line on the right. Obviously, need to be defended as well, and it really allows 1 or 2 lumber camps at the back of it.
Yep.
And if we look at population, Fire is still 9 villages ahead. Slight lead in military, getting his 30C up a bit earlier as well.
Now we see Goku on 5 archer ranges and Fire just adding his 4th one now.
Quite interesting. Whilst Fire was a bit earlier with his 3rd town center, but there's no other significant difference in production right now. Not in production, I mean, but rather in what he's spending his resources on.
Yeah.
As he isn't really ahead with anything else. He maybe got ballistics a bit earlier and that delayed his 4th range. But Goku has it in the same time.
I just spent a lot of food. Oh, he's getting handcart now.
And it seems like both players will be trying to be the aggressor right now. I'm just curious who will be more successful. We see Fire adding a lumber camp at his south wood line, which is unprotected by anything really.
Fire's in at Goku's gold.
Yeah, indeed, it's doing quite a bit of damage, but the Expos and the cav archers might be there to clean it up. In the meanwhile, Goku picking some villages, but not as much as Fire was doing. But Goku has rewalled this, so Fire might be trapped over here, but if I look at the numbers, he might be able to fight back a little bit, not having too bad of a fight. Maybe not insanely great, obviously, as he's still slightly outnumbered. But Fire actually losing quite a bit of army there. Nice rewall by Goku, locking him up a little bit, allowing him to do quite a bit of damage, picking off a large part of his army, but still Fire has picked off a lot of villages. We can see it in the villager difference. 21 more fails done, well, still alive rather, for Fire at this point.
Ooh. And Fire just put another lumber camp up on that right side where there's 5 trees around it. It's kind of an interesting lumber camp.
Well, if you do not have a good wood line, you have to improvise somewhere.
Yeah.
But if we look at the military count right now, there's a huge advantage for Goku. But as you mentioned, that might be because Goku has been sitting on 5 ranges and 4 ranges for way longer. But I think the difference isn't as insane as it was earlier, because Fire has been picking the better fights for now, in my opinion.
No, but driving him off his wood is GoKu now, and driving him off gold.
Yeah, but as a response of Fire, Goku's still doing a great job picking some villages. Fire never really able to complete the walls. The villager went down. Now also some cav archers of Goku in the south at the wood line of Fire. So Goku is denying a lot of wood and is going to bring the villager count a bit close. As we can see, Goku really being the offender this game. Even though Fire was able to do a lot of damage, Goku trying to return the favor as much as possible. But now we see Fire going for another shot. And see if he can deal the damage now.
But also seems Fire has a lot more resources in the bank. Maybe trying to go for a quicker Imperial, whereas Goku's not close still.
Let me check. We have 23 farmers for Fire. We have 19 farmers. There's not a lot of difference in food income, but I think Fire was just early on it, so he might have quite an advantage hitting Imperial a bit earlier. But he still needs to be careful with his military. Well, the numbers are actually very equal right now, as Goku isn't picking the most optimal fight. But I think he will be ahead on this fight. So both players...
Goku's and Fire's will die. We're trying to play another TC in the back there.
Yeah, Fire really trying to secure that additional wood. As we mentioned, that would be necessary in the longer run of the game, but really nice job by Goku. Maybe a bit lucky, maybe nice timing. Just denying the town center, denying Fire even more wood, as the back of his wood, it is simply running out. There's barely anything left, and the wood line at the back of his small oasis thing. Oh, and Fire walking in again with the veils. It's quite a bit of damage. Both players researching elite skirmishes, by the way. So we'll be investing quite a bit in those to defend their base. As obviously gold is limited in the 1v1s, it is always important to get a thrashing in time, save some gold for the siege production. And as you mentioned, Fire is up to Imp. If I look at Goku's resources, he's quite a while away.
Yeah.
And Fire is not too much ahead on the villager count, a bit behind on the military count. But as both players are swapping into skirmishes for now, I think it will be a bit harder for both players to do some damage. The skirmishes aren't as good at raiding, and are just great for defending against the cav archers, really.
And Fire putting up a castle in between those 3 golds, try to protect all of them.
Really like it, especially because he has the additional gold of the map there, and his main goal is basically running out at this stage of the game. Goku, however, getting back in the wood line again. He really found a spot just where he can almost freely do damage to Fire at this point. That's really costing Fire a lot of villages. Now we can see it. Oh, he still has the villager lead, so he's still doing a good job keeping up.
Oh, and now it's Fire's turn to turn the favor, trapping his Goku's cav archers with a bunch of
He learned, but doesn't have the grit mod, it appears.
Yep.
So a bit of a pity for him. In the meanwhile, Fire also took a bit of a bad fight with mainly cav archers versus mainly skirmishes. So a very not cost-effective fight. But now maybe Fire will be able to do a bit of the same to Goku. With Goku bringing the skims as well, still having quite a bit of an advantage in the military numbers. Fire still being ahead on the eco though. And obviously Fire is hitting Imperial as well right now. Getting braced on is going to help both the skirmishes and the cav archers. And from there on we might see him. He's actually expanding a bit more to the right, it seems. I wonder if he's just going to try and secure a new wood line. He's dropping a new castle on the right hand side.
That's a nice castle.
Protecting the other random gold in the south a bit as well. Claiming it a bit as his own. And there's really not any of the additional 3 piles of gold found for Goku, is there?
Yeah, he's on his last gold here.
So that's actually really nice for Fire in the long run, as he will be able to sustain his gold unit production a bit longer. He's also getting heavy cav archer and party and tactics done. Sorry, not heavy cav archer, it was someone else, something else, but I didn't quite catch the name. And again, Goku being in the wood lines of Fire, which is really
an annoyance.
one of his sore spots this game. Ooh, Fire got a caster up in time on the right, by the way, so that's going to help him out a little bit. Goku might find those gold miners, however, so he needs to get them back to the castle in time. It seems like he will, not taking too much damage. Here, the skirmish is doing quite a good job for Fire at Goku's base.
And Goku adding stables in the back of his base now.
Which is really nice in my opinion, because Goku is now up to the Imperial Age as well. I think we can see Goku going for the Hussars, especially with Goku now being on way more limited gold than Fire is. The Hussar upgrade might be a nice way to go, as they fare quite well versus the Cav Archers, but also do a great job versus the Skirmishes.
He's adding a much more farms, and I think he knows that he has limited gold, so he knows he has to go into trash units now.
Nice work by the Mangonel of Goku so far, picking up most of the skims.
Oh, that build going down though.
In the meanwhile, we have Fire, whilst having a bit of a gold advantage, is already collecting the relics on the map and doing quite a good job. I'll check later on how much they have.
And a forward season workshop from Fire. He's gonna start. He made Capran, I saw. He's gonna start pushing soon. But no wood for him also.
Yeah, still really awkward for Fire in my opinion. But he's getting the castles down on the map, claiming a bit more of map, so that will help him out in the long run. And I promise to check the relics. I think there's one relic for Fire so far, but he has a second one on the way. No monks even out for Goku so far, so he isn't quite concerned with that, but is rather going for the Hussars, as we can see the first light cap standing ready as well. And Hussar indeed being researched, and as you mentioned, knowing he's on limited gold, getting the additional food eco, spending those resources on the Hussars, it can work out quite well, especially with Fire's map being so open. Him struggling to get the route in, those Hussars can get everywhere, because I cannot see Fire walling this map anytime soon.
That's true. I also like, if you look, that the gold that Fire is mined, he's mining the one furthest away from his other TCs first, so that if he loses map control, he can fall back to the one near his castle, which I think is really smart.
Yeah, indeed, really thinking a bit more about the future. And there's a third castle up for Fire, again defending a wood line. And yeah, it just feels necessary, really. But those castles won't do a great job once those Hussars are fully upgraded in their defense. And it seems actually quite unexpected for Fire, as he doesn't have an awful lot of counters, but is now finally getting Hussar himself as well, getting plate botting armor. So maybe we can see Fire going for a bit more of a mix of CA, Siege and Hussars, and Goku mainly staying on the skirmish and Hussars and trying to get a Siege in as well.
Woodbine on the right side, 4 of them, he still hasn't noticed. Killed 3 vills.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, there's bringing some Hussars over.
And we see the caster for Goku in the front right now as well, helping out his blue line a little bit, helping out. Oh gosh, this on the right side of Fire is still open. I haven't seen Goku attacking in any other spot but the blue line in the south and the gap in the north. And there's just nothing really changed in the meanwhile. And let me check the Hussar upgrades. We have +3 defensive for both players, but a +2 attack for Goku, as Fire is now researching the +1 attack.
Fire's in Goku's base now with his Cav Archers.
Wow, but look at Fire's resources. He has 2k gold.
Yeah, and Goku has nothing almost.
Yeah, there's only one Vil left of him at gold, as the Cav Archers of Fire picked up quite a bit now. Goku trying to get the castle on the right hand side, but the Cap Rams are on the way. I think we haven't seen Goku getting the Cap Ram research, did we?
No, and he only has 1 Siege Workshop.
Yeah, indeed. So we have 6 Siege Workshop of Fire being there. So Fire will have a way easier time getting aggressive, as yeah, he simply has the siege to push, and there's not a lot of siege of Goku to stop it. Obviously Hussars will do a reasonable job, but he's really struggling to keep control, as we can see Goku being at 18 military, Fire at 49. And this means Fire will be taking game 1. And being almost double the population as well.
Yeah. That just came down to the gold, so he didn't have any left.
Really nicely done by Fire in my opinion, whereas his map was quite awkward, but he's been doing a lot of great raiding himself, whilst I think Goku's map might have been a bit friendlier. Except for the additional golds on the map that weren't really meant for any of the players. But Fire getting so much harassing was really helping him out of the game. He's been having a fail lead most of the game.